Hey everybody, it's that time again. I was running a little late because I had some settings turned off on my phone, and for some reason in my little back bedroom, I have to turn on my cellular data, and everything looks kind of weird. Everything I've got's too big to wear, so I'm just trying to make do and not have to buy a lot of new clothes right now because I'm still losing, and so yep, it's too big, but I don't care. It is what it is. And I'm happy about having to have new clothes, but I don't like shopping. I absolutely despise shopping. So, eBay, here I come. Trying to figure out where'd my microphone go. There it is. There it is. There it is. Anyway, here we are. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks and counting before Thanksgiving. And I think it's time that we check what our expectation level is. Because we have perfectionism that reigns over everything we do. And I want to get a handle on that. First, let me tell you about our sale that we got going on, just because Justin will fuss at me if I don't. We have our mop package, and every package that are extra large mop. See how big this thing is? It's as broad as my shoulders. The mop, the handle, the chenille cloth that comes on it, and an extra chenille cloth. When you use our coupon code, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but when you use our coupon code of pumpkin15, you practically get it half price of what it was before we put it on sale. So it's a great opportunity for you to jump in and get this mop. Michelle's been up here today, and we have been detail cleaning. We're 2 weeks out, so from Thanksgiving, and her family and my family, well, Justin's not coming, but Robert's family is coming over for Thanksgiving dinner, and I want to get things just a little bit more spruced up than normal. We've just been working for the last couple of days just to get the cleaning stuff out of the way. And be sure and check out these deals. I sent an email out this morning and yesterday afternoon about the great deals that we have. We put our water bottle, and you know that wonderful water bottle that y'all all love, that the 18-ouncer. The lids are, we put a good price on the lids. They're $5, and this is $14.95. Those numbers I do remember. And just, get it ordered, and these make great Christmas presents. Nothing like having a clutter-free gift. And then, I got a itchy nose again, but I got my Kleenexes handy right here. Anyway, so the other big thing we have is we found somebody to build us our original duster. And it's a wooden handled duster. I'm showing you the wooden handle first because I want to save the best for last. And I may have to push the camera out a little bit so you can get the full benefit of this beautiful duster. But it's made with the ostrich feathers that are in the plumes that are on fancy quill pens and showgirl costumes in Las Vegas. But it is absolutely, I'm going to push it out with my feet. It is huge. And here it is right next to me, it's got a few purple feathers in it. Doesn't that make us happy? This thing is voluptuous is the word for this. Just plain old voluptuous. Get these things ordered because we got a limited supply of them because they're having to corner the market on these these feathers. They come from the underneath arm, underneath the wing of the ostrich, and they are part of the molting season. Only 2% of the feathers look like this. And this we weren't able to get many, so you're gonna have to get them while you can. And it just feels so good. I just can't even tell you how luxurious it is. And the feathers just are beautiful. They make me happy to be able to get. Now I have the original of this duster sitting right over there on my table in a vase, and these things. That one's 15 years old, and when you keep them out in the open, out in the light of day, dust mites won't eat it all to pieces. And that's the thing about it. You got to keep it out in the open. So everybody, get your duster while you can. But let's get back to the what's going on. I just got to talk with my hands, so. Let's keep it a little further back. The main thing you got to remember is we're not perfect. Things happen. Everything happens for a reason, and we just have to let go of these high expectations that we're going to have the perfect meal, the perfect Christmas dinner, the perfect Thanksgiving dinner. Everything's going to be perfect. And when we will let go of that expectation, we do the best we can to get everything done. I mean, I've already got my turkey in the house. Last year, we didn't buy the turkey till the last minute, and we had to get a 24-pound turkey. You don't need a 24-pound turkey for 6 people. You just don't. So this year, Robert's already went to the grocery store and got a 14-pound turkey, which makes me happy. That's just the right size for our oven. It's just, it's big enough. It's not a monster bird. And there's some funny things on YouTube about people not liking to touch poultry. Well, I'm one of those people that don't like to touch poultry. I put on rubber gloves. And, you got to dig in and get the innards out of it and do lots of things to it to get it ready to go. I mean, last night, Leanne and I were looking over her original menu mailer. She wanted a copy of it, and I actually had it. And we started going over it. And that thing stands the test of time. If you have never used Leanne's Thanksgiving menu mailer, then you are in for a treat. It's posted on our website in our recipes section of our holiday section. So check it out. That thing stands up. And the last couple of years I've done this one thing when it comes to turkey. I cook it on Wednesday, not Thursday. And I lay it out in a 13 by 9 pan and wrap it up with aluminum foil, as my granny used to say, tin foil. Wrap it up in aluminum foil, put it in the refrigerator. Then the next day, about an hour before dinner, I get it out. I put it in the oven with a cup of broth. And it is absolutely amazing because I've pre-cut it and laid it all out. So all I got to do is put it on a platter, and it's beautiful. But that makes me happy because my kitchen's not a mess the next day. All I got to really do is put the rolls in the oven, and we're good to go. Now, what I want to talk to you about is I talked with a friend on the phone yesterday, and none of us really talk on the phone anymore, but I was on the phone with her for about 45 minutes. And I said, well, we're 2 weeks out from Thanksgiving. And I said, where are you going for Thanksgiving? She says, well, we're going to my mom's, but I'm dreading it. And I said, why? It's Thanksgiving. Why are you dreading going to your mom's? And she says, well, I remember when I couldn't be there for Thanksgiving one year. And it became, and those of you who are old enough will understand this terminology, Thanksgiving gate. I was the bad child. We had something that we had to do that Thanksgiving, and I couldn't be there. Well, this year, my brother can't come. And I said, oh no. And she said, we're just dreading it. And I said, well, why are you dreading it? And she said, well, because Mom gets upset. She goes into this martyr mode, is what I call it, of saying, it's the only holiday I really love, and I want all my kids here at the same time, and that's all I ask. Well, don't do that to your children. Just don't do that they would be there if they could. So we've got to learn as the adult in the situation. Even though your children are adults, we've got to be the bigger person and understand. Now, my son and his family, I am blessed. I am so blessed because my son and my grandchildren and my daughter-in-law live in our area. And I get to see them every day. I had Justin up here for lunch yesterday, and he came up for lunch today. That's one of the kudos of having, and I haven't ever used that word, but I read it last night in the menu mailer that I was looking at for Leanne. Kudos to him having leftovers, because he calls me up and he said, Mom, what you got left over? Because I'm cooking. I've cooked every night, every day for the whole month of November. And this morning I got up and the first thing I did was figure out what I'm going to cook for next week, starting on Sunday. I got it all made out on little Post-it notes. So we just have to know that those kids are doing the best they can. Now, I asked him last week where at first he thought they might be coming for Thanksgiving, the whole family. And that means in-laws too. And then he said, Mom, Melanie, that's his sister-in-law, my daughter-in-law's sister, wants to cook Thanksgiving this year, and it's her first Thanksgiving. And I'm happy to pass the torch. It's not that I'm passing it to directly to my child, but I think of Melanie as being part of the family because her little daughter and the adoption with her and all the wonderful stuff, we just part of our family. And you have to be willing to let go of feeling wronged, because it's not wrong for somebody else to want to learn how to do this. It's just not wrong. So we've got to bless other people. We've got to teach them how to do things. And we've got to show the respect and love of others. I mean, my verse for the day was all about loving others. We have to love others and treat people the way we want to be treated. That's the main thing. So when we let go of these high expectations of expecting the whole family around the table, like that picture that we've all seen with the grandmother with the white frilly apron serving the turkey on the table, and everybody, I don't know if it's Christmas dinner or a Thanksgiving dinner, doesn't matter, but it's still a big dinner. And putting it on the table and the presentation and everybody just happy to see this turkey. Well, be thankful for who's there. Be thankful for who is there, because they might not be next year. I can't even discuss it. But all those poor people in Sutherland, Texas. I know I'm not doing the name right, but they're not going to be home for Thanksgiving through no fault of their own. And, one family lost 7 or 8 people out of their family. We have to be thankful for what we have. And we have to love everyone. And laying guilt trips on people is not loving. So loving everyone, treating them the way you want to be treated, and letting go of your expectations that this is going to be the most perfect day of the year. Well, it might not be. The turkey might be dry. If you use Leanne's recipe, it will not be dry, I promise you. You just have to let go of it and pace yourself to get ready. That's what we're doing. Michelle and I like to do it together. It's fun for her, and it's fun for me. I mean, it's my favorite holiday because there's no presents involved, nothing like that. It's all about preparing a meal, and my sister-in-law and I do it together. She has certain things that she likes to bring. So let me tell you what she brings we do a little potluck. And I like to have potluck. There's certain things that I cook, and then there's things that she cooks. And she cooks the stuffing, which is pretty much like a Leanne's recipe. It's got sausage in it, which is to die for. So we've got this stuffing that my sister-in-law makes. And then she makes my mother-in-law's cranberry salad, which is Jell-O and fresh cranberries and some cherry Jell-O and an orange, and it's all scrunched up with some nuts in it. My grandson loves it. He absolutely loves it. So she makes that. And I make the mashed potatoes because I make killer mashed potatoes. It's a heart attack mashed potato, but it's really good. And then I make the turkey. I do the rolls, and I like homemade rolls. Well, they're not homemade, but they're frozen roll dough that I let rise and I cook. And I'll do corn and green beans. And my green bean recipe is so simple. I use frozen bagged green beans. And I put a pound of bacon in them and about a half a bottle of white wine, and cook it down till it's nothing. No water in it at all. And they're really good. Let's see. It's a little bit sweet to the wine, and all the alcohol cooks out of it. You could put white grape juice in it and do the same thing. Then, what else do I cook for Thanksgiving? I'm trying to think. I probably have it right beside me, right here in my control journal. I like to make deviled eggs, but I don't call them deviled eggs. I call them angeled eggs because I don't like to mention devil. So, but I do the eggs up, and they're on my website too. You look up angeled eggs and you'll find them. I cook them all in the oven. And I know you've never heard of it before, but let's get back to those expectations. We've got to let go that we've been wronged in any way, because we've got to be thankful for who's there and be praying for who's not, that they get home safely, because that drive that you have to go through to get to wherever you're going on Thanksgiving, that is treacherous. It is treacherous. And the last time Michelle went to Baltimore for Thanksgiving, it took her 16 hours to get there in the pouring rain. So when she finally got there, she said, I'm not doing this again. I love you all, but I can't do this anymore for just a weekend. If I come up, I'm going to come up and I'm going to stay for a week, 2 weeks, but I can't do it for just a weekend. And her family understood. She's got 4 brothers and 2 sons up there and a grandchildren, and they all understood. We've got to let go of being wronged because somebody's not at your house. It is raw bacon that I fry up. I cut it up into little pieces. I'm going back. Somebody's asking the question. I cut it into little pieces and fry it around, and then I put my green beans in it and the wine, and there you go. So everybody, just let go of those bad feelings, and let's have some fun and not be so stressed out rushing around, because I know what it's like to get all in a tizzy trying to get everything on the table, and you can make yourself nuts if you do this. And with me, I can pass out in a heartbeat if I get too stressed out. So for me, I just have to take it slow and easy. And we've got everything in the house except the fresh broccoli. Got that? All I got to do is get Robert to run to the store to get fresh broccoli for my broccoli salad. And it's got bacon in it too. And that's on our website. So I like to make this broccoli salad. I like to do creamed corn because that reminds me of my grandmother. I make a big pot of gravy with everything. So when I cook my turkey on Wednesday, I can take it all off the bone and have turkey carcass cooking for the gravy. And it's Leanne's recipe for gravy is the best in the world. You're going to, every bit of her Thanksgiving menu mailer, even down to the pumpkin cheesecake, is amazing. And I cooked a pumpkin this week. Robert bought this cute little pumpkin, and I told him that he was not to touch that pumpkin, that he was going to, it was a pie pumpkin, and he was going to bake a pie with it. And I said, oh no, I'm going to use it for decoration. Well, I got to feeling guilty about that. So I cut it up and put it in the crock pot. And I cooked it, and then I took it all off and put it in a jar after it cooled. And I got a quart and a cup. So I've got 5 cups of rendered pumpkin, which is, it's just beautiful pumpkin. I've never seen one. I've never seen a pie pumpkin like this. It was just a little bitty one. So we'll make probably some pies next week. And I think I'll make an applesauce cake because that's one of my sister-in-law's favorites. And I might make an apple pie. But I found this cute recipe. Now I want to talk about recipes too. For those of you who are thinking about cooking something new for Thanksgiving, don't you do it. I'm telling you, don't do it unless you do it this week and play with it and see if you like it. Because trying a new recipe on Thanksgiving could set you up for failure. And you got to time everything just right. Now, Leanne has this wonderful timeline in her menu mailer that talks about when you do this and when you do that. And in fact, it starts 2 weeks out. Who's coming to your house? Do you know who is coming? So get your list made out of how many place settings you're going to need. Let's wash up our dishes. Let's get our good serving dishes out, and when the dishwasher's empty, just throw them in the dishwasher, get them all washed up, ready to go. You can even put them out on the counter, and I keep little note cards that I know what everything goes in. So last year I broke one of my dishes, and I had to go on, because it's a Corningware dish with a lid, and they don't make it anymore. I had to go on eBay and find it after I broke it last year, and I got it back. So I have this wonderful dish that I put the corn in, and the corn is real easy. I'm telling you, it's just easy. I get it comes in a sausage-like tube in the freezer. and I don't know who makes it, but it looks like a tube and it's about like this. I get 2 white and 1 yellow. White corn and yellow corn. And then a stick of butter, and that's it. And I put it in the oven at 350 and stir it every once in a while. And it reminds me of my grandmother's corn, and I helped her I helped her make cream style corn when I was little, scraping the cob and cutting it off the cob, and she had this wonderful way of cooking it in a big old dish pan on a stove out in a milk barn, is what she called it, and we'd cook it in this 2 eyes, and we'd get it good and hot before we would bag, and then we would take bags of ice, little bags of ice tied up, and cool it off really fast. We'd stick like 10 little bags of ice in this big dish pan that she would heat up, and then we would freeze it into little pint boxes. Little pint boxes. That's what she froze it in. And Granny's corn was to die for. We loved that corn. But then I found this corn at the grocery store, which reminds me of it, because Granny used to grow this corn called peaches and cream, and it was wonderful. So it's sort of a yellow and white mixed. So I do that, and it just reminds me of Granny's corn. Yes, the menu mailer is free, and it's on our website. You can get it there easily. I think she's editing it and going to have a sign-up thing where she'll send it to you automatically. It's like 14 pages. But we have it in 5 sections on our website, in the recipe section on our website. If Liz can find it, she can post it for everybody. In our holiday section, you'll see the recipes up on the left, and click on it, and you'll see Thanksgiving menu mailer along with our other recipes. So back to cooking. Cooking is fun for me. I've enjoyed cooking this week. It's been today's the 9th day, and what I realized, today was supposed to be a day for leftovers. I don't have any leftovers. I froze them all. So I got to cook something tonight. I don't know what that's going to be yet. I think I have a meatloaf in the freezer. I may get that meatloaf out. But it's leftovers, so I may take some of my frozen leftovers. I have also have a barbecue that I froze a couple of months ago that I cooked. I may take that out, and we'll have barbecue sandwiches and some slaw and maybe some baked beans or something. Whip up a little batch. Cooking is fun. And when you know what you're going to cook and you have the groceries in the house. I did an inventory last week, and I'm cooking from that inventory. And tomorrow I'm doing something really weird. My husband just looked at me and said, "What?" I told him I needed a 5-pound bag of grits out of the freezer in the basement, and the catfish fillets. And those were on our inventory. They're vacuum sealed, so they're real good. We got them back in the summer. And I found a bag of deviled crab in my refrigerator, in the freezer part of my refrigerator. And so I took that. I'm going to take that and take the deviled crab meat, which is like stuffing with crab in it. And I'm going to take it out of the shells, and then I'm going to put it in the catfish fillet and roll it up, and I'm going to make a lobster sauce. I got the lobster base, and I'm going to make a lobster sauce to pour over it and bake it in the oven. And then put it over a bed of cheese garlic grits. He's not going to know what to do. We'll see. I've never made this before, but I got it right here, as Michelle would say. I got it right here. It'll be okay. If it doesn't work, we'll pull something else out of the freezer, because I got soup. I made a big pot of soup yesterday, because Wednesday you clean out your refrigerator. So I made this big pot of soup, and Justin came up for lunch today. And it's more like a mulligan stew because the beef cooked all to pieces, and it was just everything from the refrigerator, even some spinach that I had left over, a couple of cups of spinach in there. And it was wonderful. Absolutely. Best flavor. And I'd made some bone broth once upon a time, and I reduced it down into about halfway, so it was kind of thick, and I poured it into ice trays, and I froze it, so I had a bag of bone broth cubes. And I had Robert taste the soup yesterday afternoon. He said it needs something. And I had thought the same thing, but I didn't know what it was. And he said, it needs a beef base of some kind. And he said, don't we have some ice cubes? And I've made ice cubes out of chicken stock too, done the same way, because you never know when you're going to need some chicken stock. And I'm always cooking some bones up and making broth. And so I pulled out 5 of those ice cubes that were the bone broth that I can put in a cup and drink it in the wintertime. That's why I made it, because I would have frozen bone broth cubes. And we put 5 of those into the pot of soup, and it was a 7-quart crock pot full of soup. It was wonderful. I added a can of Rotel to it, just for some little pieces of tomato and a little bit of a little peppery hot stuff. And it was Justin said, Mom, this is the best I've ever tasted. So getting compliments like that from your child is going to call me up every day and say, what do you got left over, Mom? I don't want to go out and eat. Let me come up there. So using up what you have, and when you cook your turkey on Wednesday, you can use the turkey carcass, not clutter up your freezer with it. You just get it done. Get it done, and the house still smells like turkey when you're cooking the turkey broth. And it's just a wonderful way to use everything God's given you. Now, today, we are cleaning the oven. And I don't do it often. And when I do it, it smokes up the house. But I remembered to turn the vent fan on today. I have one of these Gen Air stoves where the vent fan grabs it before it ever gets into the atmosphere of our house and sucks it down before it gets too bad. Well, I put my iron skillets in, every one of my iron skillets in the oven when I'm cleaning it. And I shall see how they work out. I'll let you know. I might take a picture of them all if they turn out pretty and clean. If they don't, I have to put them in a fire this winter when we're having a big fire in the fireplace. But I hope those are clean, and I have to re-season my iron skillets. I love my iron skillets. They make me happy. And I'm getting ready to have company. I've probably got to put 2 leaves in the table. That's got to be done. I'll start making my list of things that has to be done. But for the next 2 weeks, I'll probably do that this weekend. And we'll do a little bit every day. Kind of like our holiday missions. We're doing a little bit every day. And don't feel bad if you haven't done any of the holiday missions, because you download your holiday control journal and you get started. That's just it. And then after Thanksgiving, soon as Thanksgiving's over, then next Monday, we do our super cruising missions. That's for those of you who have procrastinated. I know who you are. You have procrastinated, and you don't even want to think about Christmas until Thanksgiving's over. I understand that, but sometimes you need to. And we're going to jump in as soon as Christmas is over and get it all done. We're just going to get it all done. And we're going to still have time to play. We really are. Now, let's see, what did she ask? She asked a question. Can you use cast iron on a glass top stove? I do it every day. Yes, I do. Even my pan that has a cast iron skillet that has a little lip on it, like 1/8 of an inch of a lip around the edge. That one, I use it on my glass top stove. My stove is for me to use, and it doesn't. For me, it doesn't scratch it. And if it did, I wouldn't care, because it's my stove. And I'm not going to get all bent out of shape because it got a scratch on it or it gets a little dirty rim around it. My stove is black, the top is black, and I'm just not going to let it. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to get bent out of shape because one little thing happened to it. I mean, there's one eye that my pans are a little bit larger than the eye, and it's gotten the paint off the insert that goes into the stove itself, because I've got a griddle for the stove and a grill for the stove, but I mainly use the 4 eyes. And I'm not going to be all crazy if I get a scratch on it. We gotta let go. I mean, I knew somebody one time who had moved into her new house, and it had a white stove, and she fried something and everything splattered, and it got all around the edge and it burned, and she wanted a new stove right then and there. And she was young. You gotta let go of that perfectionism. The older I get, the less things bother me, because in the long run, it really doesn't matter. And if you've ever read the essay, I've written it several times in several different ways. I got 3 rules I live by. 3. Don't sweat the small stuff. What doesn't matter really doesn't matter. To laugh every day, even if it's at yourself. And to love like there's no tomorrow, because there might not be. So let's let things go. Let's do what we can today to make tomorrow a little bit better, and always end every conversation with, I love you. And you'll shock some people when you tell them that, but they don't know what to do with it. But love everybody the way you want to be treated. Love people the way you want to be treated. And everybody wants to be treated with love and respect and kindness. And those 3 things can change a person's life. Now, this week I've been harping pretty hard on let's let go of the mental clutter we have. The clutter that causes us to be depressed. And that's lack of forgiveness. When we let go of our unforgiving attitudes toward people, and we start praying for those people and loving those people, when you do that, you let go, you take a huge weight off of your head. It frees you to be who God put you here to be. It frees you up in a way like you have never done it. I mean, yesterday I sent out a message that talked about, write those names down of those people who have wronged you, that you just can't let go of. Write them down on a piece of paper, put them in a aluminum pie pan, and go outside and set fire to them, and watch those names go up in smoke. Let those people go. You don't have to associate with them anymore if you don't want to. You just let them go. And this is more about taking care of you than anything else. I don't care about those people. I only care about you. And when you let go of the wrongs that they have done you and quit wearing your heart on your sleeve, then you are going to be ready, more ready than ever, to accept love from others. Because when your cup is full and you're not spending all that nastiness and all those negative feelings toward other people, you're just filling your cup up with love and loving others. You got to let it go. The Bible teaches us to forgive 7 times 70. If somebody had wronged me that many times, it would be hard. But we have to forgive them. I mean, Jesus said on the cross, flat out, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Some people haven't a clue that they've wronged you. And when you let go and you tell people, they don't even need to know that you've forgiven them. You forgive them for you, not for them. And also, your family cannot read your mind. I love this about Michelle. She's learning a lot about how she feels. She's had 2 boys in the house and a husband, and when she would come in from work, dishes would be everywhere. And finally, the other day, she told her husband, she said, honey, here's what I'm expecting when I get home later tonight. I expect the kitchen to be the way I left it. And I'm not telling you that's what I want you to do, but I'm telling you my expectations so that if you have a minute and you've cooked breakfast or whatever, that you'll clean up after yourself. So that when I come in, I don't have to clean the kitchen before I cook. That's being kind to someone. Our poor guys can't read our minds. They have no clue it bothers us if the kitchen is dirty. My husband cleans up after himself. Yes, seasonal depression is real. I have had it most of my life. Now that I take my vitamin D supplements, I don't have it anymore. And that's the honest truth. So get checked for your vitamin D levels. Get that stuff. And I take a lot of vitamin C. I take 10,000 units of vitamin C just about every day. And we just have to take care of ourselves because we have 2 speeds, 90 miles an hour or dead stop. And dead stop is because we're sick. If we're in the bed sick, we can't do anything. So we got to pace ourselves. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady. And that's how I'm approaching Thanksgiving. Slow and steady. We all need sunshine. Nothing makes me happier than to be a cat out in the sunshine, and letting those sunbeams flow over me and make me feel good. It's wonderful, but a lot of times it's been raining here for 3 days, and I've got every light on in the house, and my bathroom light is a full spectrum light, which I love, and I can't turn it on at night because it wakes me up. But it's a great light to have. Now, other things you can do to get ready for Thanksgiving. Here it is 2 weeks out. You get your guest list going so you know who's coming. And if there are any special things that they would like to have for Thanksgiving. That's a tradition. You may have some total strangers come to your house for Thanksgiving. People that have never been to your house for. Maybe there's things that they want to bring. So be a part of it. I remember once upon a time our neighbors came, and he was Greek, and God rest his soul, he's passed away now. There were certain things at Thanksgiving that he liked, tzatziki sauce, and I learned how to make it, and I made it for him. you can include people that way, or they can bring it. Everybody brings something. You put it all together. That's what the first Thanksgiving was all about. People came together with what they had. Now, it might not have been things we eat now, but I bet there was a turkey there, a wild turkey brought by the Indians. So let's pull it all together and have fun with it and not kill ourselves and be irritable and pouty when the day gets here. There's nothing worse than a hostess that's whiny and got a frown on her face. So I want you smiling. I want you having fun. I want you rested when it comes to hosting your dinner. It's so much to this that you got to break it into baby steps. You've got to break it into baby steps. And that's what Leanne's Thanksgiving menu mailer is all about. That's what our holiday missions are all about, is breaking it into baby steps, knowing what you're cooking, knowing what you're getting ready to. I mean, Robert ran to the grocery store yesterday. I had some things on the list that are going to be for December because I've been checking that list. I've been following my own missions. I wanted 2 things of self-rising flour and 1 of plain because I know we already have 1 self-rising flour in the freezer in the basement, and we have 1 plain flour in the basement, and we have 1 cornmeal in the basement. So I'm going to be using those up, but I needed replacements for them so that I would have them when I get ready to cook something. And we got pecans in. Robert likes to get the pecans. He's real picky about his pecans. So I delegate, honey, get the pecans in. So he got us, I think, 6 pounds of pecans have come in, already shelled, ready to go, and they look so good. I had to cook something with them the other night, and I made this fun little recipe that I saw on Facebook, and it's a real easy recipe, but it's the strangest recipe I have ever used, and it's called Pecan Cobbler, and it took 6 tablespoons of butter melted in the bottom of a casserole dish. I just put it on top of my stove on low and let the butter melt. And to that, you add a cup of pecans. Isn't this fun? Now, I wish that the pecans had been toasted because they needed to dry out a little bit to make them not as gummy. But I would toast them the next time. And I let Robert do that because I walk away from them and they always burn. Then you take a half a cup of milk, 1.5 cups of milk, 1.5 cups of flour, self-rising flour, 1.5 cups of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And you mix the sugar and flour together and add the milk to it and the vanilla. And you layer that over the pecans. Do not, stir it up, but then pour it in there and don't stir it again. Don't stir the pecans into it. And then you take 1.5 cups of brown sugar and you layer that over the top. And here's the secret to the recipe. 1.5 cups of hot water slowly poured into the mixture. You bake it at 350 for 35 minutes and oh my goodness. I could only eat a little bit of it, but it was really good, except for the pecans. I would have toasted the pecans first, and it was easy. Do a search for Pecan Cobbler, and you'll find that. It was so good. I think you could do it with apples too, like dried apples reconstituted with some apple juice, and then chop them up and put them in there. That would be really good too. So, have some fun. If you want to try a new recipe, try it this week. Don't wait till Thanksgiving to try it. Don't do it. I make my mashed potatoes, like on Saturday or Sunday of the weekend before Thanksgiving and put them in the freezer because I use a little souffle pan to put them in. And they freeze really well for me. And then all I have to do is put them in the oven. And I always make an extra one for Brian to take home with him because he loves them so much. Then I I usually let the rolls rise, and I pre-cook the rolls to where they're brown, and all I have to do is heat them up the next day. There's just so many things you don't have to do Thanksgiving Day except put things in the oven. And I got 2 ovens, and I purposely had 2 ovens for that reason, because Robert likes to bake things and I like to bake things, and the twain do not meet in the middle. He has his oven and I have mine, but I use his oven on Thanksgiving because we got a lot of things that need to be heated up. And when my sister-in-law comes, the things she brings has to be heated up. So I got to have most of my stuff done and ready to go when she gets here, because she's going to fill the oven up with her stuff, because she does sweet potatoes too. And she doesn't do marshmallows on top. She does a praline, brown sugar pecans on top. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I know y'all have been very patient with me today. It's a fun time of year, but we can make our families' lives terrible if we don't check our expectations at the door. And if you have these high expectations, you need to let people know about it, and apologize, and just apologize. Yeah, I want you to have a wonderful holiday season, starting with Thanksgiving and then rolling into Christmas, and then New Year's is always fun. Christmas Eve is always fun. Let's just think about loving everybody and not expecting more out of them than you know they can give you. And that's what sets us up to be sad. That's what sets us up to be so sad. When we expect so much from others, and we don't have to do that anymore. We really don't. All we've got to do is do the best we can and love everybody. And be thankful that they're still alive. I mean, I can't even think about those families in Texas without praying for them. It's just so sad that somebody could do such an evil thing. We have a lot to be thankful for. We have tremendous blessings in our lives. And day before yesterday, I heard on XM radio that if you have XM radio, if you don't have XM radio, you can still go to, this week has been the birthday for Billy Graham. And Billy Graham just lives over the mountain from me, and just the other side of Asheville. I feel like he's a neighbor, even though he's not, because he's from North Carolina. He turned 99 years old. Well, when my mother-in-law turned 99 years old, she got her driver's license renewed. She's been gone now 5 years. He turned 99, and it is a tremendous blessing to all of us, because they have 1,600 of his sermons that he preached in these crusades around the world posted on their website, the Billy Graham, I don't know. It's just do a search for Billy Graham's website, and the archives are there, and you can listen to these archives with your phone. And I listened to 4 sermons yesterday, and I was just blown away by them. I've never really listened to him preach. He was a powerful minister in the days that when he was out preaching these crusades all over the world. And he has, right now they have an XM channel on Sirius XM, and it is XM channel 143 or 145. It's one or the other. But you can still listen to the sermons on the website, and the archives is there. it is powerful to listen to these sermons. And they are such a blessing to be able to hear what he preached about in Africa, and what he preached about in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I had a friend who heard him in Africa when he was 15 years old. And I found the sermon yesterday and sent it to him on Facebook. And he was just blown away that the sermon was there. How beautiful is that, to hear something that you heard when you were a teenager? I never got to hear him in person, but it's a wonderful archive to listen to. And we have lots to be thankful for. And hopefully one day when I'm dead and gone, y'all will have all these videos of me to be able to hear me run my mouth and be bossy. We don't know what tomorrow is, but we got today. And we can be thankful today for everything that God has given us. And that's what Thanksgiving's all about, is being thankful and loving others and want to treat people the way we want to be treated. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And even if they're mean to you, still love them. Forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. They have no clue. Let's let go of the hatred in the world. And let's love others. Let's just love everyone. And we're going to have a great next 2 weeks getting ready, because I get excited getting ready. Just thinking about it, I get excited. But I'm not going to lay guilt trips on people. Not going to do that. Because whoever shows up is who I'm thankful for. And I'll be praying for the others to get home safely. I love you all. I'll see you next week. Oh, I have something to tell you that happened to me. I forgot to put my haircut appointment on my calendar. Yep. And yesterday evening, I get a text message from my hairdresser. Teresa's so sweet. And she says to me, "Hey, pretty lady, you had an appointment this afternoon. We got to get together. I don't know if it's my fault or your fault, but we got to get together and figure out a time for you to come to the beauty shop and get your hair cut." So a week from tomorrow, I get my hair cut. And I have put it on my calendar. I have set an alarm on my phone. I am not going to miss it this time, because it needs cutting. I think I can go another week without getting the scissors after it myself. But we gotta put it on our calendar. She gave me the little card, and it's probably still in the car. That's just how it goes. We make mistakes, we forgive ourselves, and we ask the others to forgive us, and we get on with our lives. That's all we can do. I love you all. I'll see you next week. And let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Let's get some shopping done. We got lots of great deals on our website, because I want you to get your shopping done before December 1st. Go do it. I love you all. See you later. Bye. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this off. There it goes.